Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. This is Ainaya Allah bin Yahuda bin Yasha Allah. Today's motivation is Jacob's trouble. All right, out of Jeremiah 30:7. Okay, and what it's alluding to is basically a time of trouble for the nation of Israel. All right, we all know that these are the very end times that that the Bible speaks of, due to all the things that's happening in the world, whether it be natural disasters, civil unrest, all right, economic collapse. It's all part of the grand scheme of the Most High's will. All right. Now, and part of the end time, one of the things that's going to be taking place is Jacob's trouble. All right, so I'll read it, and then I'll get into the exclusives of what's going to take place. And I got an article which I'll go into after this. It says Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it." Okay, and it's talking about throughout history. Those historical events concerning Israel, concerning the world. This is going to be the greatest time of evil known to history. All right. So it says, "It is even the time of Jacob's trouble." Okay. So not just trouble for the world, but also for the children of Israel, because we're heading into this last evil time before the Lord Yahushai, or I should say Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, sets up his everlasting kingdom. Okay, it says, "But he shall be saved out of it." He, not just Jacob, but his descendants. Those that be chosen. All right, the Most High is going to save those, the 1/3 elect, 144,000. He's going to save those, and they're going to be guarded from the time of trouble. Okay. It says, "For it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him." All right, but the point being in verse 7. All right, so so Matthew chapter 24. Okay, because Yahushua, we know the Lord mentioned this. He prophesied not only about the fall of Jerusalem during the time of 70 AD, which was prophesied by him, but also of these very end times, because a lot of the things that took place in like Masada and the Roman Jewish wars is going to happen again. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 24, verses 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be." Okay, so he's basically alluding to what's going to happen now. All right. So what's going to happen is you're going to have economic woes amongst the nation of Israel, the blacks, Latins, and Native Americans. Just to name a few things: economic woes, fallout between family, friends, and as I said, the fallout economically, things will get strenuous and very hard out here in the world for our people to deal with. It's going to be more, mass shootings, more generated crises that our people will have to deal with. Not to mention the police brutality is going to be on an upscale. The hatred from the nations will show more and more as we get closer and closer. So, and people will become more divided as we head down this stretch. Okay. So the next thing I'm gonna bring out is an article. All right, and the name of the article is Operation Garden Plot. All right, so a lot of times we bring out a lot of stuff concerning Israel, And our people, most of the time, they're in denial. They're more concerned about their present state of comfort. All right, their constellation and their complacency in this world. All right, they're more worried about that than anything else. Okay, so Salaki, bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead get that article for you, brothers and sisters. Operation Garden Plot.
According to Constitution Society, Operation Garden Plot is a general U.S. Army and National Guard plan to respond to major domestic civil disturbances within the United States.
All right, and as she said, though, that is one of the things that they're going to be responding to. The civil disturbance come by way of protests. All right, protests leads to riots. Riots lead to people getting killed. All right, but this time, because the culture of America is what in the times we're living in, there's a whole lot of protesting for whether it be police brutality, whether it be protesting against the establishment and the laws that they have set up. But furthermore, on a spiritual level, more importantly, these things are happening because the Most High Yahweh said they were going to happen, and most of our people don't understand the time we're living in, so they don't understand the events that take place. They don't understand them fully. Okay, and that's why you have the Lord set up prophets, teachers, all right, to push the truth, and the truth being what is really behind this pseudo or pseudo society that we live in. All right, so, and that's why you have the prophets. Okay, but let me see. I'll go into Operation Garden Plot. I'll just go into it a little bit. So it says Garden Plot in Rex 84. All right, and I'm gonna read it. It says Operation Garden Plot is a general U.S. Army and National Guard plan to respond to major domestic civil disturbances within the United States. The plan was developed in response to the civil disorders of the 1960s and is now under the control of the U.S. Northern Command, or NORTHCOM. All right, it provides federal military and law enforcement assistance to local governments during times of major civil disturbances. And we have, those disturbances looming. They're around the corner. They're imminent because of the things are going to get rough out here. Things are going to get tough with the plight of generated crisis, generated terrorism, all headed by the elites of the society so they can mold and bring in their Hegelian dialectic, which is problem, action, solution, pressure from above, pressure from below. All right, so they can bring in the police state. And there's more to it when you go into the research. It says it provides federal military and law enforcement assistance to local governments during times of major civil disturbance. And what most of our people don't understand is that you're unlikely to survive in the new world order that they have set up, because your voice will not be heard in these times, which will lead to you rising up more, causing more ruckus so you can be heard, and you're not going to be heard. All right. Go back. It says Garden Plot was last activated as Noble Eagle to provide military assistance to civil authorities following the September 11, 2001 attacks on the United States. The Pentagon also activated it to restore order during the 1992 Los Angeles riots. All right, so we're going to have another event on the scale of a 9/11 or the 1992 riots. All right. Oversight of these Homeland Security missions should be provided by the National Guard Bureau based on the long-standing Garden Plot model, in which National Guard units are trained and equipped to support, civil authorities in crowd control and civil disturbances. disturbance missions. All right. So the good part is here. Rex 84, short for Readiness Exercise 1984, is a plan by the United States federal government to test their ability to detain large numbers of American citizens in case of civil unrest or national emergency. All right. And we have, like I said, it's looming. The events that's going to take place, they're going to be hard for people to understand because the Most High didn't give them that knowledge. They're outside of the loop. They're outside of the truth. But if if the Most High dealing with you, you would understand. But the point being that it's going to be a lot of things that take place in the near future, whether it be next year or we looking on next year to be a rough year for the nation of Israel. And not just the nation of Israel, the whole world, all right? Okay, because the Most High is bringing indignation against the whole world, all right? All right, and that's pretty much on Operation Garden Plot. Just want to bring in, some facts about what's going to take place that the government has already planned in place for, our people, okay? Because our people, the majority of them, 2/3, are rebellious, are high-minded. They already reached their consolation. They don't want to believe in the Most High. They don't want to believe in the kingdom of heaven. They believe America is the kingdom of heaven. So this is Amos 9 and 11. All right. Amos 9 and 11, it says, in that day, also like in 9 and 10, I start at 8. This is Amos 9 and 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Okay, the sinful kingdom is America. All right, because of the laws and legislation that they pass against nature. All right, homosexuality, lesbianism is against procreation, which the Most High, one of the laws that He set up is for you to be fruitful and multiply. How do you do that with the opposite sex? So what America has done has undermined that law, okay, and made it part of their own moral code or righteousness that they're trying to set up, okay? So what it says, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. America's defiled because of the blood that was shed during the 1600s to 1700s, all the way up until now. All right, and there's laws on that. You can't kill anybody. You can't just murder anybody and get away with it without being punished. All right, it says, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord, because it says, that behold, that day is great. There is none like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, so the Most High is going to save the elect out of the turmoil that's going to take place. All right, it says, for lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All right, so it says, verse 9, it says, for lo, verse 10, it says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. All right, so a lot of our people are living in a state of nirvana, if you want to say, where they feel that they're at peace and they don't want anything else but the American way, the westernized philosophy way, which is the image of the beast according to Revelations 13 and 16. Or 15, but basically they want to continue in this abominable place, America. All right. And also, let me see. So I'll read it again. It says, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And that's the mind state of our people. They don't understand the things that's going on in the world, the evil that's around the world, whether it be natural disasters, whether it be civil unrest, whether it be generated crisis, or war. it's all because of the Most High making he's making his way back. He's coming to establish his kingdom, and the world is filled with wickedness. All right, there's no one righteous in this world. So I'm gonna go to Zechariah. 13:9, and it reads, it says, let me see. Verse 8. This is Zechariah 13:8. It says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. All right, but the third part, but the third shall be left therein. That's 1/3. All right, and I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. All right, so those that turn back to the Most High, our Creator, all right, which we lost our heritage, during slavery, and years before that, centuries before that, we lost our heritage because we tacked on to or became part of other societies, Gentiles. We became heathens and took on customs of heathenistic ways, and departed from our Lord. All right, so now we're in the times we're returning back. See, nobody really knows, if you ask African American or Latin American or North American, what's their nationality according to the Bible, according to what God gave them, they wouldn't know. All right, because they were duped out of understanding that, who they are according to what God made them. So but it shows you now we're in a point in time where we are turning back to the Lord, our Creator, and who really what really our customs are. Let me see, Second Esdras, because this is going to be a time of it's going to be a horrible, or I should say horrific time. I can't really find a word that that has enough gravity to it, to explain what's going to take place. But this is 2 Esdras chapter 15, verses 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And prophecy means to say before. And the destruction is what we're talking about. This is what I'm saying before it happens. It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All right, so one of the prophecies is what? Famine, famine of food and famine of the word. America's going to completely shut down. Okay, we're headed into a new monetary system, meaning basically the world as you know it, as we're living in, the reality behind it is going to change. All right, it's going to change for the worse. Okay, because they're going to implement a RFID chip, RFID tag, the same tag that they put on whales in Antarctica to track them everywhere they go. All right, this system or this technology is used for the New World Order. All right. So, but those are a few of the prophecies. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. Incredulity meaning the disbelief. All right, because most of our people just forget about what the Most High say, and they don't care for it. All right, and they disbelieve it. It says, and that speak against thee, it says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And that's what's going to happen. Most of our people, the majority of our people are unfaithful. They don't want to believe in the Most High. All right, they hold up the Bible, but they don't do the research. Like the scriptures say, they have zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. All right, it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth. I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. All right, so we're heading into time where the Most High is like, hey man, it's this it's over with and done with. You know, the wickedness is at its highest, man. It's at its peak. It can't get no worse than what it is, you know. So I'll jump. It says let me see. Yeah, verse 7, it says, therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. All right. So, hey, like it says, man, it's like it says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me. And throughout the centuries, our people have been getting killed unjustly and murdered by the so-called white man, who's Esau, according to the Bible, who's the main culprit of bringing down the world. All right. And he's the main person that the Most High is coming back to give judgment, put judgment on. All right. So, wickedness, it says, verse 9, therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. All right, so there's payback due to the world. All right, mainly Esau, okay, and the 2/3 of our people, because they have a hand in it also. All right, so verse 14, and I'm gonna close out. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition, an act of rebellion, among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning they're gonna have the free will to do as they please, to rape, rob, and murder. And that's why you have Operation Noble Eagle or Operation Garden Plot set up. All right, so those are one of the things that the Esau, the so-called white man, has set up for Jacob's trouble. And with that, I say, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. This is once again Anaya Allah, but Yahweh, and that's been my motivation. Shalom.